Вот, одну секунду. Да, трансляция должна идти, все работает.
Можно начинать, да?
Думаю, да.
Okay, dear friends, welcome to the next webinar of the Understand Russia series. Webinars for students from African countries who are learning Russian language. At webinars, we talk about life in Russia. My name is Guskova Yekaterina, and I work in St. Petersburg State University. Greetings from St. Petersburg. Today, we are going to talk about our new theme, our new topic, that is Russia an expensive country? We will talk about how much money we spend in Russia on food, transport, telephone, and the internet. Let's say a little about the country's economy. We tried to collect general information, prices in the cities, where foreign students usually learn Russian language and study. But we must remember that Russia is a very, very huge country, and the prices, of course, may be different in different cities. So, economy of Russia. When we talk about prices in our country, and actually in any country, right? It's important to know which sectors of the economy are the main one in this country. What is produced in this country? What is imported? What is exported? And it often depends on how much the goods we buy at the resources we use every day. For example, food, gas, electricity, water costs, etc. Russia is an industrial country, and it's also agrarian culture. Industry and agriculture are very developed here, I can say. The branches of the Russian economy are agriculture, agro-industrial complex, timber, fuel and energy, metallurgy, mechanical engineering, chemical industry, transport, information infrastructure. The Russian monetary unit of the Russian ruble, the Russian money monetary unit is the Russian ruble. On the map, you can see the most of the industrial production is in the western part of the country. This part is also the most populated part of Russia. Let's talk about agriculture. The percent of agriculture sector in Russia is about 53% of the value of all agricultural products. The basis of crop production is grain farming, and its most important crop is wheat. On the map, you can see that grain is grown mainly in the south and southwest of Russia. Russia is a major grain exporter in the world. Russia exports large quantities of grain to African countries. Rye, barley, oats, rice, buckwheat, millet are also grown in our country. Potatoes are grown in almost in all regions of Russia. In the south regions of Russia, fruits are grown, even citrus fruits like lemons, for example. And wine is produced from grapes, and tea also grows in the south of Russia. The main branch of animal husbandry in Russia is cattle breeding, large and small cattle, mainly cows, sheep, goats, etc. The main product are milk and meat. Also pigs, you can find in Russia pigs, deers, horses, poultry, bees, are bred in different regions of our country. The fuel and energy complex is production, transport, heat in home. Russia produces oil, as you know, gas and coal. powerful power plants are operating in the country. Russia exports fuel and electricity to different countries of the world. In Russia, metallurgy is a very big part of our economy and is the extraction and processing the metals. The machine building complex provides its products to almost all sectors of the Russian economy. The chemical industry is both the extraction of raw materials and the production of various products. This is the production of polymers, pharmaceutical and cosmetic products, fertilizers. Russia exports fertilizers to African countries. Well, as we already said, Russia is a very, very big country, and that's why transport is very important here. Transport links are the basis of Russian economy. Automobile, railway, and air transport are developed here. Cars, trains, planes transport people, help people to go from one place to another, and cargo across Russia and to different countries of the world. A large amount of cargo is transported by water, by rivers and seas. So on the next slide, you can see waters of Russia. Let's say a few words about this. So Russia is washed by 12 seas, and we have even 67 seaports. The sea is a really great economic resource. These are trade, fishing, tourism, of course, and science. On the map, you can see that they are located in almost all parts of the country. Cargo is transported from Russia by sea all over the world. Fishing is developed also in Russia. There are various types of fish here. Russian scientific vessels participate in ocean exploration. As you know, it's not cold everywhere and not always in Russia. Therefore, people are happy to relax on Russian beaches. Popular resorts are located on the Black Sea, Azov, Caspian, and Baltic Seas. In the photo, you can see the fish of the Baltic Sea. And the Baltic Sea beach, and the Baltic Sea beach is very, very, very popular resort. Let's talk about the rivers of Russia. We all have, well, actually, we already said that there are many rivers in Russia and many cities stand on the banks of the rivers. Cargo is transported by rivers. Also, tourists also have an opportunity to travel by rivers. Fish are caught in rivers, which can be bought at the market or in the store. Power plants are being built on large rivers. In the photo, you can see the Lena River on the right, and Lena River is the longest river in Russia. Volga too is one of the longest rivers. Actually, it's the longest river in all Europe. The photo on the right shows the power plants on the Yenisei River. Mountains, mountains like the sea are also the most important resource in Russia. Plains are 70% of the country's territory. The western part is almost flat. 80% of the country's population lives there. The mountains are mainly located in the eastern part of Russia. So here you can see the map of Russia, and you can see where, for example, Ural Mountains located and other parts of our Russia. Let's talk about minerals in the mountains. Iron, metals, oil, gas, minerals are mined in the mountains. In the photo, you can see the stones that are mined in the Urals. They are very famous in Russia, Ural Mountains. Jewelry is made from them. Previously, such stones were used to decorate the interiors of the palaces. Also, mountains are sports and tourism. In the photo, popular types of tourism are mountain hiking and downhill skiing. You can see it on the slide. So here it is. The person is on Elbrus in the Caucasus Mountains. Now let's talk about the forests of Russia. Russia ranks first in the world in terms of forest area. Almost 20% of the world's forests are located in Russia, just imagine. So our country exports wood to many countries of the world. Wood is needed as a building material, of course, and for the production of paper. In the photo, you can see the forest and taiga. Taiga in Siberia. There is a forest almost all over Russia. If you travel and if you have ever been in Russia, you can notice this. So whenever you go, you will see the trees and the forest. The taiga is located on a large territory that I already told you. It's Siberia, in the European part of Russia and Siberia. If you travel across Russia by train from one city to another, you will definitely see that the cities are separated by forests. So in what areas do Russia and Africa cooperate? Russia exports grain, fertilizers, oil, nickel, aluminum, and computer technologies to Africa. And from Africa, thank you so much, we get metals, coffee, tea, tobacco, olives, oranges, and textile. Imports from different parts of Africa, from North Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa. We will not be mistaken if we say that the main fruit of water is tangerines. And almost half of the imported tangerines are from Morocco. Africa and Russia cooperate in other areas as well. For example, Russia plans to build power plants in different countries, for example, in Ethiopia, South Africa. A power plant is already under construction in Egypt. Let's talk about the money we use in Russia. I guess most of you already know that the money in Russia is the Russian ruble. So on the slide, you can see the rubles. The ruble is available in two versions, actually. It's a paper bill and a metal coin. You can see both of them on the slide. 100 of the rubles is a penny. The most popular bill are 50, 100, 500, and 1,000 rubles. Products in the grocery store cost from 40, 50 rubles and above. We actually very rare need pennies. For example, if you bought a product that needs to be weighted, but actually, honestly speaking, it's very, very rare we use pennies. Vegetables, like once we buy some vegetables, fruits, and so on the bazaar. A 5,000 ruble bill is difficult to change. So you'd better not to take this paper money. Therefore, we try to have bills of 1,000 or 5,000 rubles. When you go to Russia, we advise you to look on the internet in more detail what banknotes look like. It's also important to clarify the currency exchange rate. Usually foreigners travel with dollars and euros. They can be exchanged at the bank, sure. There is even bank at the airport. We strongly recommend you exchange money only in the banks. Now let's have a more close look on the money. So on the banknotes, we see famous places of Russian cities. 50 rubles is St. Petersburg. 100 rubles, Moscow. You can see big theater. Banknote, a bill for 1,000 rubles is Yaroslavl. Banknote for 2,000 rubles is Vladivostok. So you can look at the screen and you can see the different Russian money and how they look like. Let's talk about banks. There are many different banks in Russia. But universities usually cooperate with some, like the most big one and the most famous, with Sberbank, VTB 24, VTB 24, we call it, and Gazprombank. If you study at the university in our country, you will probably also be a client of one of these banks. All banks now have convenient smartphone apps. We often use them when we want to buy something online or give money to friends and family. International payment system, Visa, Maestro, and MasterCard don't work in Russia now. It's impossible to transfer money to another country, but it's possible to pay with a Visa card in Russia. We have a Russian payment system. It is called Mir, the green one you can see next to the Sber on the screen. And it is used by Russian banks, like very often. In some countries, you can pay for purchasing also by using Mir. There is contactless payment application for the Mir system. You can pay in the store without a card, just using your smartphone. And we have already said that we recommend changing the currency only in the bank. You can find out the rate of the bank's website, or on the website, it is called Banki.ru. So you can see the address on the slide. And I should tell you that like Russian smartphone applications, like bank applications, are really, really easy to use, and they're very, very convenient. So, how much money do we spend on products? And what do we eat? The usual food in Russia is vegetables, meat, or poultry, dairy products, bread. Cooking at home in Russia is cheaper than eating in a restaurant. We like to cook at home, and almost everywhere, and everyone actually cooks at home, cooks something. Our grandmothers, our mothers, yes, we do love cooking. In the photo on the left, you can see our usual vegetables. You can make a traditional Russian soup. Do you know which one? Borscht, from these vegetables. There is also black bread in the photo. We usually eat it with a soup. All these vegetables, as well as meat, cost about 500, 800 rubles. And this is not one pot of soup, but for example, for two. Like to compare, the average bill in a restaurant is 600, or like from 600 up to 1,300 rubles. This is the main course of the meat and, for example, a glass of wine. Let's talk about Borscht Index. Have you heard about this? Borscht Index is an informal term for economics. Borscht is eaten by almost like around the whole country. And when economists and experts talk about prices in stores, inflation, and so on, they consider how the price of borscht products has changed. These are cabbage, beets, onions, garlic, carrot, and meat. Russia is really big, one country, and there are different cuisines in different regions. Different regions eat different vegetables, but we can say that we all eat beets, carrots, onions, potatoes, garlic, and cabbage. You can see it on the slide, and you also can see the prices. Prices in rubles, not in euros and dollars. In summer, all we eat tomatoes, cucumbers, radishes, and greens. The vegetables you see on the left, we usually eat in summer. On the right, vegetables we eat during all the year. These are beets, carrots, onions, cabbage, potatoes, and garlic. We need to say that vegetables are the basis of various Russian dishes. All the vegetables you see on the slide grow in Russia. Sometimes they are imported. Even poor families can buy vegetables. On the slide, you can see also the logo of Magnit. It's in the middle, this red one, Magnit. And Magnit, it's a famous Russian store in which you can find all these products. There are small shops that also located in all Russian cities. Magnit is available in different cities and the prices in the stores are the same. Therefore, we decided to show how much the products cost here. We think that Magnit is not a very expensive store. So let's look at the fruits of Russia. So what we have here, let's have a look. We have apple, plum, grape, pear, apricot, tangerines. So all of this you can find in Russia, and also you can see the prices. What kind of meat do we eat in Russia? In Russia, we eat beef, pork, mutton, and horse meat sometimes. Of course, we eat chicken, turkey, and the fish. All the prices you can find here. And of course, in Russia, you can't imagine a Russian table, Russian fridge, refrigerator without milk and milk products. They are very popular in Russia. What you can buy in Russia? You can buy cottage cheese. It's a very, very delicious and very popular product in Russia. And usually we eat it for breakfast. We cook a special thing that we say sырniki. It's a very, very tasty and healthy Russian breakfast. Also, we use sour cream that we call smetana, and we use the sour cream once, for example, we eat borscht. And of course, we eat butter, we eat cheese, and we eat milk. Also, on the left corner of the slide, you can see kefir. Kefir, it's also a very popular milk product in Russia. You can also check the prices here right now to understand like how much money we approximately spend on milk products. And of course, another thing that also never you will notice this, you can't imagine Russian table is bread. We really eat a lot of bread in Russia, and like bread in Russia, it's not only about white bread that you can see on the right, but it's also black bread. And I don't know, as for me, I would definitely prefer the black bread. It's really delicious with a different, like with a very, very nice smell. Here you can see the menu from the cafe country, Stolовая №1. So you can see like general prices for the meals. For example, by the way, yes, you can see борщ с цыпленком, like borscht with the chicken. It's about 70 rubles, not so much. What else? Котлета, it's a meatball. Meatball costs about 130 rubles. Картошка жареная с грибами above the slide. Fried potatoes with mushrooms is about 90 rubles. Also not so expensive, I need to say. Yes, restaurant. So before we saw a very cheap cafeteria, and now when we talk about the restaurant, the prices here are a little bit higher, right? You can compare. For example, already for the meat you will pay 500, above 500 rubles, and for example for the soup also you will pay about 495 rubles. As for like hygiene products, here is also the prices for the most popular one like shampoo, soap, cream, douche products, paper, toilet paper. So you can also compare prices in our shops with your prices. And let's talk about transport in the city. So transport in the city, it's a very, very convenient way to get from one place to another. Like actually transport system is very development in Russia. You can use trolley bus, you can use bus, you can use metro. And we pay for the transport every day. We go to work, to study, and so on. In every city, the price is different. That's why we highly recommend you to buy a special card. It's on the right corner of the slide. For example, in Moscow, it is called Troika. In St. Petersburg, it is called Podorozhnik. So you can buy this card, and this card saves your money because once you use this card, the price for the trip would be quite cheaper. Also, and this is really, really great, you can pay in the transport by bank card. So no need even to buy the ticket, just use your bank card. And even in Moscow Metro already, you can use your face to pay for the transport. We need to say that in Russia is a very good telephone mobile connection and very, very good internet providers. According to statistics, Russian people spend about 400 rubles in 1 month for talkings by phone and the internet. On the slide, you can see the logos of the most famous companies, mobile companies. These are MTS, Megafon, Beeline, Tele2, and Yota. They work in different cities, and they gives you like a really big list of packages you can choose, and you can choose, of course, the most comfortable for you. You can already see one of the packages, for example, 450 rubles, and you can get 10 gigabytes of the internet and no limit for the calls. So really good and very cheap internet and mobile connection. As for the apartments, once you need to rent an apartment in Russia, it's not difficult to rent. You can see a lot of variants, and approximately you will need to spend, if you are in the Moscow and St. Petersburg or Kazan, in the very big cities, you will need to spend around, and actually I can say more than 30,000 rubles a month. If you live in other regions, then you will need to pay just about 20,000 rubles in a month. Now let's talk about the level of the salaries in Russia. The level of the salaries depends on the region. In this table, we can see that, for example, doctors earn about 62,000 rubles in the central part of the Russia. And for example, the same doctors can earn about 36,000 once they are in the south part of Russia. In IT sector, the salary is higher, and it's above 60,000 rubles until 170,000 rubles. Depends, of course, again from the region. As for people who work in educational sector, like me, teachers, we earn from 30,000 up to 51,000 rubles a month. So today we talked about the money. We talked about what people buy and how much money they spend on the products. And also we talked a little bit about the economy of the country. We want to say thank you for attention. and we are really happy that you participate our webinars. We already talked about 3 topics. We talked about general information about Russia. We already talked about how to survive in Russia during winter. Today we talked about the money, and our next topic would be Russian holidays. So on Monday, you will again meet, we will see together and each other, and we will talk about how and what we celebrate in Russia. Thank you so much again for your attention. So I remember that last time there were some questions.
Yeah, can I just ask a questions orally?
Okay, I hope it's not very difficult because I'm feeling like I'm on exam now.
No, don't worry.
I don't remember the prices. I don't remember all the prices, okay? So if you just
No, it's
like,
not
what's
about
the
the
price for
prices.
cucumbers now? I don't remember. I'm sorry. Okay, please.
Okay.
Sure.
No, it's not about the prices, but it's about like the picture that you just showed at the beginning of your lecture. You showed us the map of the Russian Federation, and you showed us the concentration of the population in the industrial complex.
Yeah.
It's mostly in the west, and when you see in the east part of the country, you can see almost none, actually, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder why. That's my first question. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
The second question is, I hope it's not difficult. Yeah, you also mentioned about the lakes and rivers in the Russian Federation, and I've read like a newspaper about Lake Baikal, if
Mhm.
I'm correct. Yeah, what's that about? Like people really love to talk about that lake, and what makes it different from other lakes?
Okay, great questions. Thank you so much for the questions.
Yeah.
First of all, yes, I showed this map, right? And you mentioned that, yes, the industry most located southeast, western part of Russia. In eastern, the climate zone. The climate
Yeah.
zone is very bad to make any industry. So it's
Mhm.
really cold there. So of course, it's really hard to, for example, to do some agriculture there. That's
Yeah.
why, of course, most of the people do like economy sectors in the western part of Russia. That's why.
Okay.
And as for the Baikal Lake, yes, all of Russian people, and we're very proud of Baikal Lake because it's the most deepest lake in the world.
Yeah.
It's like from the one hand, and from the second hand, I forgot the word, but it is provides about 80% of all. Let me check the word. I know this in Russian, but I forgot how to say in English. Just a second. So it provides about 80% of the world of all the world.
I see. Okay.
That's
That's
why
not.
it's really amazing. So пресная вода, yes, fresh water, yes, or also
Yes, fresh
sweet
water.
water. It is called sweet water. So
Okay.
just imagine one lake provides about 80% of a global one. So and it's
Exactly.
the deepest one, and it's really beautiful. A lot of people go there just like a tourist. I never been there, but it's one of my dreams to go there to see this lake.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your answer.
I have a question, maybe just one, or yeah, one, no, two. So what I wanted to ask is, what is the population demographic in Russia? Do we have younger people majority, or are people older? And what is the business demographic? Do people enjoy doing business, or do people like government jobs? Like in the United States, you realize that most people are entrepreneurs, but in France, most people like government jobs. So, what is the business landscape and demographic distribution in Russia?
Well, I guess we would have a special meeting for this, a special webinar. For example, right now I need to tell you for example, for the beginning of 2021 year, the part of people around 65 years old and older in Russia is about 16% of the whole population. 16%. So like up like 65 and older. And the people until 15 is about 18%. The population of men in Russia for the January 2021 is about 46%, and women like more than men in Russia.
That's nice.
But we would like not nice for a Russian woman, not nice, but still, I think we would have a special meeting for this to talk about population and about Russian people.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? So let me check the chat very quickly. Okay, yes, some of people answered already about the Lake Baikal. Yes, thank you. Who said that it's the deepest lake in the world? Good. So as compared to Moscow. Yeah, so I guess we talked about most of things. Yes, Ezra thinks, yes, Ezra said that the most beautiful metro stations in Russia, that's true. I really agree with this. Okay, great. So I looked through the chat. You were writing a lot. Thank you so much for participating in my discussion. See you next time on Monday again. Have a nice evening. Goodbye, or I can say in Russian. До свидания. Хорошего вечера.
Спасибо большое.
Спасибо вам. До
До
свидания.
свидания.
До свидания.
До свидания.
До свидания, Энтони.
Mm.